Hey everybody, John Granato and Lance Zierlein from the bench. Mornings on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Lance, the big story. I mean, it's everywhere. Deshaun Watson probably going to try to force his way out of here by asking for a trade. He just signed his extension last September. Is this the obvious things that we see? Or is this something behind the scenes, any one thing or a buildup of things that really brought us to this point?
No, I think it's all been domino effects. I mean, I think tearing down the roster is one thing that made it harder. It made it when I say tearing down the roster, I mean the roster is very weak right now, and you have given away draft picks, and you have put yourself in a not great cap situation. Mismanaging contracts, trading away picks, building a weak roster and poor evaluations. It put them in a very difficult place to win games. But then on top of that, ownership has shown, we know Jack Easterby's a problem, but ownership has shown that they have no control in that building. When I say ownership, I obviously mean Cal, not Janice McNair. But Cal has no real control. And I think what's happened is Deshaun Watson was ticked off about not being included in any of the process he just wanted to feel like he was a little bit of a part of it. And when Jack Easterby was able to sidetrack and circumvent the actual real hiring process that was supposed to go down, I think Deshaun at that point, it was almost like it was teetering, and we didn't know it was teetering. And once that happened, he realized this owner just doesn't know what he's doing, and I'm always going to have to deal with this owner. And then all the other stuff just came flooding out that he really doesn't have any faith in any of that as well. I mean, they had never set up an interview with Bieniemy and Robert Saleh, and now all of a sudden they're doing interviews with Bieniemy, and it's very transparent why they're doing that. So it may be too late, John, but that doesn't mean the Texans couldn't play hardball and still try to make this thing work.
Unless he gets some confidence. That was pre-Caserio. So maybe Caserio goes, listen, I had nothing to do with any of that, Deshaun. We're running this right now. We're not going to do those contracts anymore. We're going to not give away all our draft picks. We're
You mean
not doing
contracts
things
like the one they did with Deshaun?
Right. So but Caserio could say, look, I'm interviewing Bieniemy. As a matter of fact, I love Bieniemy. And let's say Bieniemy gets hired. James Harden got raked over the coals when he wasn't helping out a young black coach getting his first NBA job. You think there's going to be some backlash to Deshaun if Bieniemy is hired and Deshaun still wants out?
I don't think much. I think people love Deshaun Watson nationally, locally. James wasn't beloved nationally at all. The guys raking him over the coals were national. I think it was Charles, wasn't it? Steven Jackson.
Jackson, that's right. Steven Jackson.
Yeah. So and those guys I don't think have a ton of respect for James because he's kind of a different cat. He doesn't really adhere to their old school mentality. I think with Deshaun that would not be the case because you could easily just say, well, they did it just to try to appease Deshaun, like they weren't even serious about it. There's already the narrative around the Texans about race and things like that. So I don't think anyone's going to rake Deshaun over the coals at all. They'll just say, good, you got out.
But allegedly, he wanted him to talk to Bieniemy. Now they're talking to Bieniemy. If they hire Bieniemy, that you would think that could placate him.
It gives you a chance.
Deshaun still said, I want out. Then I think, you know what, and I'm starting to hear some entitlement. What is Deshaun? Why is Deshaun PO'd about a general manager? Players don't hire general managers. That's not his business. He's getting too big for his britches. I mean, we crushed James Harden for all of his general manager moves as a player, and Deshaun is getting a pass. I think a lot of it is what you said, that Deshaun is a heck of a lot more likable than James Harden, but I'm starting to hear some mumbling about Deshaun. Hey, Deshaun, stay in your lane.
Well, okay, and I think that's fair, but who has Deshaun gotten rid of? Which coaches has he gotten rid of? He actually backed Bill O'Brien more than once. I haven't heard Deshaun getting rid of anyone or running anything behind the scenes or not showing up to plane flights until an hour later or any of that stuff. So, I think it's a little different to compare the two. I do think it's fair, and I've made this point in the past, you don't let Deshaun Watson or any one player pick your head coach, because what if they leave? And now you're seeing the reason. What if they don't want to be there? Well, now we're actually looking at this. What if the Texans hire Eric Bieniemy? Deshaun has not shown the willingness to talk to anybody in the organization, but you're going to gamble and take the chance that Bieniemy might be able to smooth this over, which is possible. It's entirely possible. But what if it doesn't happen, and now you hired a coach that you didn't really believe in, and you were simply doing that because you thought that was the only way that you were going to be able to appease Deshaun Watson? That's going to be tough.